Hello, Brittany Roberts here. We're going to talk about speech sound disorders today. As a teacher in a classroom, speech sound disorders, I feel like is a difficult thing for a general education teacher because there's so much going on in their classroom. They've got a large number of students to tend to. There's not much time for a one-on-one. There's so much variability between the way different adults, students, um, young children especially speak. There's so many different variables going into that. It's difficult to pinpoint it. Not only that, if they are able to pinpoint some sort of speech sound disorder, it is difficult for them to find that one-on-one time to work with that student, even to assess them. So a tip that I would give to any general education teacher as a special ed teacher is to collaborate. Call on your special ed teacher, call on the speech therapist, or anyone who specializes in assessing at your school. I think that that's the key here, is to tap into all the resources the school has to offer and get all the help you can in helping that kid be assessed so that an intervention can be put into place if it's necessary. And then those people can help you with potentially writing an IEP if it's necessary, or just differentiating instruction to get the kid caught back up to where they should be, or to help with whatever speech sound disorder that they have. So working through those procedures for assessing would include something like looking at their case history. Maybe they already have an IEP with something different referenced in that. Maybe it's something that needs to be added to their IEP or something that's been addressed in the past. So that's good information to know. So you always want to go back and look at their history. Another thing that we would do is do a wide range of assessments. So that would include assessing the structure and the function of the students' articulators, using an oral mechanism examination. Then we would evaluate speech sounds within the words and the individuality of that. Then we would assess patterns and phonological errors, and then assess language skills, and assess how well the speech is understood by other people. After we go through the assessment process, that's when we start working through how to intervene. So we would come up with an intervention plan, either through the IEP or 504. A personal connection I have to this involves a student. As a high school special ed teacher, the students that come to me generally have already been assessed if they have some sort of speech disorder. So we'll call him Drew. So Drew had already been assessed. He had a history with speech therapist, but he was still a little self-conscious about his speech. And so the interventions that we came up with as his special ed teachers were just ways for him to participate in class discussions without actually having to speak and embarrass himself, since that was a thing that he was concerned about. And that worked out really well for him. He got what he needed from typing in what he wanted to say to the teacher, or even emailing back and forth to get credit for things like classroom discussions that he didn't want to openly speak in, and that was perfectly fine with his general education teacher as well. Implications for students as far as identifying and assessing speech disorders, it's a tough thing to do as a general education teacher, like I mentioned before, and so the implications are that it may be missed early on. And that's why collaboration is so important, because if there's even a hint of a potential problem, once teachers and service providers collaborate, then hopefully the ball will get rolling to intervene and help the student.